Hello everyone, welcome to PRV Solution. So today in this video lecture we will study another important topic, that is transducers. Transducers are very important devices which are commonly used in measurement systems, and they are used for converting one form of energy into another form. So let us start our topic. So first is the definition of the transducer. So by definition it is a device which convert physical quantity which we want to measure into an equivalent electrical signal. If it is converts that physical quantity into electrical signal, then these transducers are known as electrical transducers. So here we will study electrical transducers. Function of transducers. First function of transducer is to detect and sense parameters, magnitude and any change in the physical quantity. So they are used for sensing the magnitude or parameters or change in the quantity. Second function is to provide proportional electrical output signal. So block diagram of transducer is shown in the figure. So it basically consists of two elements, sensing element and transduction element. So non-electrical quantity is converted into sensor response by sensing element, and this sensor response is the input to the transduction element, which converts this response to the electrical signal. So sensing element's function is the physical quantity or its rate of change is sensed. So sensing element will sense the physical quantity or its change, and it will respond to by this part of the transistor, and it will respond to the change in the input. The another important element of the transducer is the transduction element. The output of the sensing element is passed on to the transduction element. This element is responsible for converting the non-electrical signal into its proportional electrical signal. So transduction element converts the non-electrical signal into the electrical equivalent of the input. So there are different basic requirements of a transducer. So first requirement is the linearity. What is linearity? Its input versus output characteristics should be linear. Transducers input output characteristics should be linear, means they should produce characteristics in the balanced way. Second is the ruggedness. Ruggedness means hardness of the transducers. A transducer should be capable of withstanding overload, and some safety arrangements must be provided with it for overload protection. So if there is a possibility of overload, then transducer must withstand that without damaging its function. Repeatability. Repeatability means the device should reproduce the same output signal when the same input signal is applied again and again under unchanged environment condition, means condition is not changed. For example, temperature, pressure and humidity are maintained. So these are three characteristics. Fourth characteristic is high reliability and stability. The transducer should give minimum error in the measurement for temperature variation, vibration and other various changes in the surrounding. Means if there is change in the conditions, then it must give minimum error, means it must be stable. Fifth requirement is high output signal quantity. The quality of output signal should be good, means ratio of signal to noise ratio should be high, means the amplitude of the output signal should be enough. So here noise must be low, means the transducer must provide signal to noise ratio which must be high. No hysteresis. It should not give any hysteresis during measurement while input signal is varied its low value to high value and vice versa. Residual reformation. There should not be any deformation on removal of input signal after long period of use. So transducer must not be deformed when we remove our input signal. Now we will study factors which must be considered while we will select our transducer. So, first factor is high input impedance and low output impedance. Transducer must have high input impedance and low output impedance to avoid loading effect. Second is good resolution over its entire selected range, means it must provide output for minimum input as well as maximum input. Highly sensitive to desired signal and insensitive to unwanted signal, means signal to noise ratio must be high, preferably small in size. Fifth is high degree of accuracy and repeatability. Sixth is selected transducer must be free from all errors. So, these are the factors which we must consider while we will select our transducer. Now, we will study classification of the transducers. So, transducers are classified into various categories. First is based on the physical phenomena. We have primary transducer, secondary transducer. Based on power type, active transducer, passive transducer. Based on the type of output of the classification of the transducers, analog transducer, digital transducers. Based on the transduction principle, transducer, inverse transducer. Based on the electrical phenomena, means transduction principle, resistive transducer, capacitive transducer, inductive transducers, photoelectric transducers, photovoltaic transducers. Let us study these transducers in details. So, what are based on the physical phenomena, transducers are classified as primary and secondary. So, what are primary transducers? The transducer consists the mechanical as well as the electrical devices. Transducer consists mechanical and electrical devices. The mechanical devices of the transducer changes the physical input quantity into a mechanical signal. So, the mechanical part of the transducer converts physical quantity into mechanical signal. This mechanical device is known as primary transducer. Then we have secondary transducer. The secondary transducer converts the mechanical signal which is obtained from the mechanical device of the transducer into an electrical signal. The magnitude of the output signal depends upon the input mechanical signals. So, this is the example of primary transducer, means Bourdon tubes. This is a Bourdon tube that is used to measure the pressure. Pressure is applied here, then this spiral type tube will deflect or produces some deflection. From this deflection, the pointer will get deflected over this scale to give pressure directly on the scale. So, this is the arrangement for the Bourdon tube which is used to measure the pressure. So, pressure is applied here. This pressure will straighten this Bourdon tube and this free end will move, and when we this free end will move, this cord will move this LVDT, linear variable differential transformer, and according to this there is change in the output voltage occurs. So, here this part is the primary transducer which converts pressure into mechanical displacement here. If pressure is applied to the tube, it will try to straighten, causing the free end to move up and to the right. This motion is converted into circular motion for a pointer with a quadrant and pinion linkage. A Bourdon tube inherently measures gauge pressure. So, Bourdon tubes are usually measure up to 50 megapascal pressure. Where an electrical output is required, the tube can be coupled to a potentiometer. So, if we want electrical output, then this tube must be coupled to a potentiometer or LVDT. The Bourdon's tube is the primary transducer here, and LVDT is the secondary transducers, because this pressure is converted into mechanical displacement of this LVDT, and through this LVDT we are getting output voltage. So this LVDT is secondary transducer, and this Bourdon tube is here primary transducer, which is used to convert this pressure into mechanical displacement. So depending upon the power type, we have passive transducer and active transducers. Passive transducers, which requires the power from external supply source, is known as passive transducers. They are also known as external power transducer because they require external powers. The capacitive, resistive and inductive transducers are the example of passive transducers. And some other examples are strain gauge, resistance temperature detectors and thermistor. Next power type transducer is active transducer. The transducer which does not require the external power source is known as active transducer. Such type of transducer develops their own voltage or current, hence they are also known as self-generating transducers. The output signal is obtained from the physical input quantity. Its examples are thermocouples and piezoelectric accelerometers. The third type of classification is the analog and digital transducers. Analog and digital transducers are classified according to the output signal obtained from the transducers. So analog transducer, in here they changes the input quantity into a continuous function. The strain gauge, LVDT, thermocouple, thermistor are the examples of the analog transducer, while digital transducer convert the input quantity into digital signal or in the form of the pulse, which has high and low values. Transducers and inverse transducers. Next classification is transducers, the device which converts the non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity. Transducer converts non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity, while inverse transducer converts electrical quantity into non-electrical quantity. So this is the difference between transducer and inverse transducers. Now based on the electrical phenomena, we have different types of transducers. First transducer is capacitive transducers. What is a capacitive transducer? A capacitive transducer consists of a capacitance. Here the capacitive transduction, here the measurand or the quantity which we want to, or the parameter which we want to measure is converted to a change in the capacitance. So in this transducer, the quantity will converted into change in the corresponding change in the capacitance. So what is a capacitor? Capacitor is a two conductors are separated by some dielectric. This dielectric is used to maintain the charges, to maintain their stored electrical charges. And the relationship between capacitance and the size of the capacitor plate, which is given by C is equal to epsilon naught epsilon r A by D. D is the separation distance of plates in meter, C is the capacitance in farad, epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity of vacuum, epsilon r is the relative permittivity, A is the effective overlapping area of the capacitance plates in meter square. So we can vary, or the capacitance here can be varied by change in the permittivity, area and this distance. So if physical quantity changes any one of these parameter, then there is we will observe some change in the capacitance. So this is the function of capacitive transducer. Another type of electric transducer which works on electrical phenomena is electromagnetic transduction or electromagnetic transducer. In electromagnetic transducer, the measurand is converted into voltage induced in the conductor by change in the magnetic flux in absence of the excitation. The electromagnetic transducer are self-generating active transducers. The motion between piece of magnet, this is the magnet, and electromagnet is responsible for the change in the flux. If flux is changing, then there is some voltage induced in the galvanometer, and this change in the displacement of between these permanent magnet and the electromagnet is converted into voltage by the Faraday's law of the induction. So in this way, here this transducer is used to convert measurement into corresponding voltage induced in the conductor. Next is the inductive transducers. So in inductive transducer, it uses inductive transduction. The measurement is converted into a change in the self inductance of a single coil. Here the measurement is converted into change in the self inductance of the coil. It is achieved by displacing the core of the coil that is attached to a mechanical sensing elements. So in first diagram, magnet is at rest, no current will flow in the coil. If we will move magnet relative to this coil, then current induced in the coil. This is the electromagnetic induction principle. So current will change because the self inductance of the coil will change. Third method is current carrying conductor is moving relative to this stationary coil. In this way, the current is also generated. And in the fourth, current carrying coil is at rest here, but the current is induced by changing this speed to a rapid rate. So in this way, inductive transducer converts measurement into corresponding change in self inductance and hence in change in the current. Next is the piezoelectric induction. In piezoelectric induction, the measurement is converted into a change of electrostatic charge or voltage. So here the measurement is converted into charge or voltage generated by the crystals. This is the crystal. When we will deform this crystal or some stress is applied to this crystal, then change in the voltage occurs here. So in this way, measurement is converted into change in the electrostatic charge or voltage. Next is photovoltaic transduction. In photovoltaic transduction, the measurement is converted to a voltage generated when the junction between dissimilar matter is illuminated as shown in the figure. Here the sunlight will fall on to different or dissimilar material, and change in the conduction will occurs, and due to this a voltage is generated in the voltmeter. So in this way, photovoltaic transduction converts measurement into voltage. Next, the advantage of the electrical transducers. So first advantage is electrical signal obtained from electrical transducers can be easily processed, means they can be amplified easily and brought to a level suitable for output device, which may be an indicator or recorder. So they are amplified so that they can be indicated or record for the analysis purpose. Second is the electrical system can be controlled with a very small level of power. Third is the electrical output can be easily used, transmitted and processed for the purpose of measurement. Fourth point is, with the advent of IC technology, the electronic system have become extremely small in size, requiring small space for their operation. And the last is the no moving mechanical parts are involved in the electrical transducer. Therefore, there is no question of mechanical wear and tear and no possibility of mechanical failure. So with this advantage, we have mostly used electrical transducer in our daily life or modern world. But there are some other disadvantage also electrical transducer have. First disadvantage is the electrical transducer is sometimes less reliable than mechanical type because of aging and drift of the active components. So they will not produce the same response as in the beginning. Second, also the sensing element and the associated signal processing circuitry are comparatively expensive. The cost is high. And the third is, with the use of better materials, improved technology and circuitry, the range of accuracy and stability have been increased for electrical transducer, but they require a better material and expensive material. Using negative feedback technique, the accuracy of measurement and the stability of the systems are improved, but all at the expense of the increased circuit complexity, more space, obviously more cost. So these are the disadvantages of the electrical transducers. So this is all about the electrical transducers or transducer part. Thanks for watching.